Our producer on this mentioned that Sky Arts are doing another series of Playhouse Presents and that there was a theme this year which was failure, and he suggested that I should look at Hitler's failure to get into art school, which is the basis of this story about a 19-year-old Adolf Hitler living in Vienna in 1907 and 1908 and failing to become an artist.
The main thing that attracted me to the project was actually the tone. Clearly it is a comedy, and yet it's also dramatically accurate. It's a really interesting balance. I feel like I haven't seen anything like it before, and as a director that's always exciting.
I am Adolf Hitler, academic painter.
This particular chapter in his life is very non-political. It's before any of those horrible ideas were formed. We needed someone who could be convincing, who could be comedic, who could be formidable, who could really transmit the angst and the anger within the man.
It's quite interesting to be able to approach a character that's so famous in history and such a monster and has such a reputation. To get to kind of learn about him as a 16-year-old and to an 18-year-old and what kind of person he was then. So in a weird way, I've kind of approached it as if I'm playing a character that we don't know anything about.
You've got to imagine him aged 18, 19, with all that anger, but with no audience. And one of the things I particularly like about this story is he has an audience of one, which is Kubitschek.
It's an odd couple, definitely. Kubitschek had a hell of a difficult job being his friend, but was very loyal to him in those early years, when Hitler was this strange, awkward, aspiring artist.
Why is this guy Kubitschek, why does he put up with it? It's such a weird dynamic, but I think he just really likes being, it sounds a bit weird, but like kind of dominated, and he needs like leadership. He needs to follow someone. And the way it was described originally was an Alan Partridge and Lynn kind of relationship. I really like that.
Though I must confess to some considerable exhaustion.
No! You must be full of energy and vigor.
He was very interested in politics, but not in the sense that we know him for. He wanted to be an artist. That's what he thought, that's all he wanted to do, become an artist. He was all right, but he wasn't particularly great. Not very good at painting people. It's all about buildings and structures and architecture. So he probably would have been better off had he studied better at school and become an architect.
There is a fine line because it is Hitler. And, there is some weight of responsibility on our shoulders.
Normally the guy that's getting rejected by the girl that's not getting into art school is the guy that you naturally draw empathy towards, and the comedy would be a comedy of his sort of failure, but one that we'd all feel empathetic to. And it was obviously key in this case that he's not the guy we empathise with. Finding the way to tell a story that's dramatically engaging, but at the same time isn't emotionally affecting you in the wrong way was one of the challenges that made it very exciting.
I shall create my new portfolio to show them fools at the Academy. Whilst over here, you shall practice your viola, gain entrance to the music school, and take Vienna by storm. And here we shall sleep.
In the hometown of Linz, there was a girl called Stephanie, a girl that Hitler had seen walking about. He convinced himself that he was utterly in love with this woman and that she had the same feelings. And his phrase was that they didn't need to speak because when love arises between extraordinary people, they both know what each other is thinking, which is a fantastic delusion. In our story, Hitler is infatuated with this girl. He can never speak to her, but he projects his own feelings of love on her and thinks that she has the same feelings for him.
It is most apt that you are here. I believe the time has now come for me to introduce myself to your father. I shall explain to him...
Excuse me. Darling, I'm so glad you came.
Couldn't have asked for two more understanding, professional, focused actors. I think they've been amazing. Not a normal shoot, I wouldn't have thought, for them, not for me in terms of how shoots run in the UK. Because of all the voices and all the different languages around, translation isn't always straightforward.
There's a language barrier which you have to kind of overcome. A lot of talking going on around you and you don't really know what they're talking about. But in a way that can be quite nice because you can just let it go and just get on with playing your part and doing your actual job.
Everyone's had to really get on with it, and then also the challenge of just being on a lower budget and yet having a huge ambition, trying to do something that will work like a movie, and I think that always comes with a certain amount of pressure on everyone involved.
11/1, 2. Action!
a period drama together, especially Vienna 1907, is incredibly hard. Everywhere is modernised. Krakow and Poland seem to be the best fit.
I think it was a lot easier than trying to match Vienna to Vienna, ironically, because I think Vienna now is so much more modern, and one of the amazing things about Krakow is how certain parts of it really are timeless. Incredibly, we got right into the centre of Krakow. We shot in a cafe that was the equivalent of Leicester Square. We shot in the street that, you know, was really the, I guess, the Oxford Street or the major tourist attraction road.
Recreating Vienna is going to be very hard wherever you go, but it seemed to be easier to do it here than actually in Vienna itself.
This is the professor's office, the professor at the Academy of Fine Arts. Hitler has come to ask the examiner to look again at his work.
Action.
Ah, you are here. Good. I was omitted from the selection, so you will now kindly look again at my work.
It looks already dressed like a library, amazing bookshelves. It's absolutely everything that you think sort of the head professor at a large establishment in 1907 office would look like.
I just would like you to know that this house is one of the oldest houses in Krakow, is that right?
Yeah.
It was built in 16th century. Now this what you see is from the beginning of the 20th century,
Yes.
but the house itself is from the 16th century.
So I loved the stuff we did in the flat. That worked so well, and that was a real struggle to find that location, to find something that was authentically run down, that was the right size, because if it was too small, obviously to film in would have been impossible, and we wanted a certain amount of movement with the camera. That was really pleasurable to shoot in a location that really realised the visual kind of ideas we had about where he should live and how it should look. I think also being in Krakow, being in Poland somehow and with a Polish crew has really given an added degree of resonance to the shoot. In the UK, we had a very powerful experience of the war, but it was never one that threatened our borders. And being in a country that has lived with that invasion, there's a sensitivity to that's really worked. There's also a humour, so that it's just somehow given us a depth, I think, and somehow given the project an authenticity. I can't really explain exactly how.
When I started to gather all of the costumes, we started in London just to look and see what was there. A lot of it had been taken out for another job at the same period, so I started to look across a wider field. I had to go to Berlin to look at a set of costumes there. I then flew to Krakow and had a look at what the people here had brought from Warsaw. There wasn't quite enough, so we then had to drive to Prague to the costume studio there and to pick the best of that, and then drove back from Prague, which took 7 hours. We then had almost enough stock to costume everybody, because we have a lot of people in the background who you're not necessarily notice, but if they're not there, you notice their absence. And again, they need to be all dressed, and everything, you need to go from head to toe when you're dressing. Actually, the first thing it said in Kubizek's book is he remembers him being in a salt and pepper suit, and I was looking through the costume houses and found a tweed suit which was grey and black, and it was fitted and it was quite tight, and I think also that helps with the actor's characterisation, because he can't slump in it, he has to stay very upright. These are some of the images that I started to look at when I was doing my research. The Viennese at that point were leading the world of fashion and art, and they just wanted to show the world what was happening. For the menswear, we're looking at the very high Edwardian collars were still very much in vogue. We have artists as well, the ones who are really producing art and didn't care what they looked like. When we're doing Hitler, he's very smart. He never gets any paint on him. He's always immaculate. These are some of the ladies' outfits I was looking at. The silhouette had changed quite radically from about 10 years earlier. Leaner in the skirt, the waists were higher, the hats were quite important still, because no lady went out without a hat or gloves, unless you were very, very low class or entertained gentlemen for the evening for a price.
We are setting the lights for this red light district sequence. Before I made a huge movie in the same period of time. So then I was preparing almost 1 year. So I know quite well what kind of light they was using in that time, in that period. And yeah, we are trying, to get close, but due to the budget, always you have to be somehow flexible about it. It's very strange, very fast. I never was working so fast before.
Sitting at the monitor and watching this fantastic cast. Sitting in front of this beautiful backdrop that's been created by a Polish art department. With the wonderful, wonderful costumes by a British costume designer. Shot by a Polish DOP and directed so skillfully. And when you see that coming together, that's wonderful.
It's just something that's completely different to anything I've ever done before.
It's great fun. It's great fun. Can't say a better than that.
We got it. It's a wrap. That's a wrap on our epic little week. Come here.
Pleasure.
Amazing.